What is up, boyos? I just wanted to make a video here because there was some big news that happened today, and I really wanted to talk about it. Basically, James Gunn just got announced as the new CEO of DC Studios, essentially making James Gunn the Kevin Feige of DC. It's pretty wild. I have the report here. I think we should read through it. This comes from The Hollywood Reporter. Let me pull it up. This is an exclusive piece from The Hollywood Reporter by Boris Kitt and Aaron Couch titled DC Shocker, James Gunn and Peter Safran to lead film, TV, and animation division. The hierarchy of power in the DC universe really is changing. In a stunning turn of events, filmmaker James Gunn and producer Peter Safran have been tapped to lead DC's film, TV, and animation efforts as co-chairs and co-CEOs of DC Studios, a newly formed division at Warner Bros. That will replace DC Films. The unprecedented move, in which a top director will assume a top executive post, marks the end of a months-long search by Warner Bros. Discovery CEO David Zaslav to replace DC Films boss Walter Hamada, who departed the studio last week. That search had all of Hollywood guessing and playing executive bingo for who would land one of the most coveted and challenging jobs in town. In recent weeks, Gunn and Safran were spotted on the Warner Brothers lot, meeting with Warner's film co-chair Michael DeLuca about future projects. And according to sources, the initial overture to Safran and Gunn came from DeLuca over the summer, even as the studio was in shaky talks with producer Dan Lin to take the job. Gunn will focus on the creative side of things, while Safran will focus on the business and production side. Both are expected to continue to direct and produce projects respectively. They will report directly to Zaslav and work closely with Warner's film bosses DeLuca and Pamela Abdi. Sources say the deal runs 4 years and Gunn will be exclusive to DC. The goal is for them not just to be producer, but to truly function as executives, even as Gunn will occasionally hone a movie. Unlike Marvel Studios, DC has multiple films set in separate creative universes, and according to sources, Joker filmmaker Todd Phillips' work on the upcoming sequel, which goes into production later this year, will not fall under Gunn and Safran's purview, and instead will be overseen by DeLuca and Abdi. Matt Reeves, who worked underneath Hamada, has a budding universe based on his The Batman movie. It is unclear under whose purview Reeves' future projects would fall, but everything else moving forward would be under Gunn and Safran's. The article goes on, and it goes into a bit more detail, but that's kind of the main points of it right there. And it's so interesting that this news comes out the same day as the James Gunn directed Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. The trailer for that dropped today, and then just a few hours later, this news that James Gunn is going exclusive to DC. Wild. So what do I make of this news? I am cautiously optimistic about this news. I think having James Gunn as the creative and Peter Safran as more of the logistics, very smart. The fact that right off the bat, James Gunn is going straight to David Zaslav, much like how Kevin Feige is going straight to Bob Chapek over there. I know Zaslav has gotten a lot of hate because he's canceled a lot of stuff. The main thing being the animation. Absolutely terrible what he did to the animation departments. I totally agree. Getting rid of Cartoon Network. Terrible. Cartoon Network Studios, he got rid of. Cartoon Network, the station, still exists. But he got rid of Cartoon Network Studios and just canceled a bunch of great animated shows. Like so many great animated shows got canceled due to Zaslav, as well as the Batgirl movie. That was supposed to have, Michael Keaton in it, and it was supposed to have Brendan Fraser, which the entire internet loves now. So people were upset about that. But I do wonder if David Zaslav came in, saw they were making this Batgirl movie, and were like, no. This movie is going to be bad. And James Gunn doesn't want to take over when a terrible movie, comes out. And I know I know the irony of me saying this right after Black Adam came out, but I do think like Black Adam was already so far down the pike when Zaslav took over. Like there was nothing he could do but release that movie. And I actually think introducing and this is a spoiler for Black Adam, so if you haven't seen that, so sorry, but this is where we're at. But introducing Henry Cavill in the post-credits scene, I feel like they just filmed that like recently and just tacked it onto the end of this movie because they know, like, hey, we're going in a new direction. We're bringing back Henry Cavill. He had a brighter suit, it looked like. He had the curl. And, like, they're really diving deep into what Superman should be, not the Snyderverse stuff. So if you're a Snyder Cut person, release the Snyderverse or whatever, which, or restore the Snyderverse. I don't think Zack Snyder is coming back. I'm sorry. I think that's a good thing, though. And I don't just think that's a good thing because I don't want another Zack Snyder DC project. I think it's good for Zack Snyder, too, so he can go off and do his own thing. And James Gunn taking over as CEO is perfect because if you remember, he was kind of working hand in hand with Kevin Feige to kind of co-lead with him to deal with the cosmic realm of the MCU. Because we all know James Gunn is a huge comic book reader. Like, the dude gets it. He's up there with Feige as far as comic book goes. And when he did Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, you could tell this guy cares about these projects. They do mention that James Gunn is going to continue making films and stuff. I really have to think the only reason they say that is because Peacemaker Season 2 is already on the way. I have a feeling that James Gunn is actually going to take a step back from actually doing a lot of filmmaking himself and instead just be like executive producer on all these movies and make sure there is an overarching sort of narrative going on. And I do wonder, Ezra Miller has been a huge problem. The dude could possibly be facing, 20 plus years in prison. Even despite that, though, they've been bringing him back on set for the Flash movie. I think the Flash movie is going to come out. Like, we're too far gone at this point. I think the reason they're reshooting is because I think they plan on using that Flash movie as like a sort of soft reboot moment. So they can keep what they want to keep and get rid of what they want to get rid of. So they could keep Black Adam. They can keep Henry Cavill. And if they wanted to, they could get rid of Ezra Miller. They can get rid of, Ben Affleck, even though it's rumored that he's going to show up in that Aquaman movie. But once again, Ben Affleck showing up in that Aquaman movie, I think comes from, the before time. So who knows? I have no idea. With James Gunn at the helm, though, I feel more optimistic that we're going to see more interesting projects. We could potentially see Batman Beyond. And a favorite that everyone's been wanting is Static Shock. I think a lot of people would love to see a Static Shock project, be it a movie, an HBO show, whatever it is. I'd love to see that. I loved Static Shock. I do have questions about the Matt Reeves Batman universe. Where does this fall within the James Gunn Safran regime, so to speak? I'm not sure. I don't know where it's going to be. Maybe they decide to just fully reboot. Matt Reeves, the Batman, could be the starting point for the new universe. I think that's a great idea. And you can have that universe be combined with the current Snyderverse sort of, and like still have like the Suicide Squad, part of that universe. But you could easily have Matt Reeves, the Batman, be the starting point for the new like DCU, and finally having a official DC Studios. I don't know why they haven't done this until now. Marvel has done this since what, 2008? It's been its own production company. DC's been under like New Line Cinema this whole time. Like it hasn't even been its own studio or its own production company. So like now that it's its own thing, that's great. One thing I hope that DC continues to do though is to dabble into the weird. The weird that Marvel is kind of scared to dabble into. Dabbling into R-rated content, dabbling into one-offs, you know, maybe we do see like a Red Sun Superman project, like, and it's just like a one-off movie. The fact that the Joker is still happening, you know, I wonder, you know, if that movie would have happened if Zaslav took over earlier. But that is something we could see in the future, is like how Joker is not being led by James Gunn and Safran. Instead, it's with a different production company. So maybe DC can lend out its IP to different studios within Warner Brothers if they want to make a one-off Red Sun movie, right? Yeah, I think it's a very exciting time, I think, for DC. This could be the start of something beautiful. I don't have like unlimited faith about this, you know. It's still Zaslav, who I think has been making some very poor decisions. And let's face it, Discovery bought Warner Brothers, and Discovery has awful content. So we will see. We will see what happens. And I'm sure even by the time this video is posted, we'll have more news and updates. But I imagine over the next year or so, we're going to see a lot of changes within the DC universe. I do think they're going to try and get out Aquaman, Shazam, and The Flash before a lot of big announcements, the big like James Gunn announcements happen. But we'll see. I'm curious to see if they will cancel The Flash or not. Who knows? I also wonder if Warner Brothers Discovery stock prices are about to triple because of this, because they've been going down and down because Zaslav keeps canceling everything. So this is very interesting time. I'm excited to see where it goes, and I'll keep making videos about it because I love talking about this stuff. So I'm game for it. I'm excited to see what happens, and for Marvel to potentially have some actual competition in the comic book movie space it's a good thing. So we should all be for that, because Marvel being the only guy around is bad. So thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure you subscribe, like, do whatever you do. I do live streams over here. I'll be doing a Bayonetta midnight stream this Thursday at around 10 p.m. Pacific time. So get excited for that. We're going to be doing that. And check out Last Week in Games every Monday on twitch.tv/lonercast, as well as streamed here on the YouTube channel every Monday at 3:30 Arizona time, and posted Tuesday on podcast services and as a VOD on YouTube. So anyway, thanks for watching. Once again, please hit that subscribe button. We're so close to 100 subscribers, and if we could hit 100, that'd be crazy. That'd be loco. Whoa.